Okay, I'm going to show you all how to use RightSoft to do your heat load that way using using a demo of the RightSoft program. And so I'm pulling the information from the Longhouse floor plan that you have in your book. And so I won't be showing this, but that's where I'm getting the information from. So, up at the top, all of your building materials and stuff. We're essentially doing the same thing that we did in the other. We're building our bank of materials or bank of sections of the house, walls, ceilings, so on and so forth. But we're just doing it in this program instead of on a spreadsheet. So, all right. So I've went ahead and downloaded the demo. I'm not going to go through how you do that, but if you go to module that talks about the block load software, there's a link to the RightSoft demo, and then you should be able to download that demo onto your computer. I think in the computer lab, those have it already loaded on them, I believe. And then you can just save it to your desktop or something. And we're just going to use the demo. You can buy a full version of this. It's pretty expensive, but this does most of what we need just to show you how it works. And so I'm going to kind of do just a quick run through. And so once you're there, you're going to you can go to the project wizard, but it won't let you really do anything on this one because there's a crow on there. I don't know if y'all could hear that or not. If you couldn't, then you think I've lost my mind. Um, but so you could enter in project information and stuff here if you wanted, but in the demo, I don't think it'll let you do that. So we kind of just skip over most of that. It won't let you alter any of that stuff in the demo. All right, so cancel that. Yes. Go to draw. So when you get to draw, you're going to see this little shapes toolbar. You've got several different things in here that you can use later, and so we're going to sort of keep that handy because we'll be pulling from that. And then up here on the top, you'll notice there's a little kind of a house that's sitting here, or part of a house. And so this is the quickest way to start it. And you all may have to bear with me. It's been a while since I've done this myself, and sometimes I have to kind of relearn it. And they have changed it a little bit as well. So click on, just start at the top, work your way around. And so the first part is going to be your ceiling, roof, that type of stuff. And so according to our plan, we have a gabled roof with a 30-degree uh, 30-degree angle, dark asphalt shingles, no radiant barrier, and the ceilings are below an FHA vented attic, R19 blanket insulation in the joist, and they are horizontal. Some of that stuff you're going to see on here. So we have a sloped roof, but our ceiling is really what it's concerned with. The ceiling is under an attic. So if you do sloped roof, that's going to mean that your ceilings are sloped as well, is what they're going by on here. So ceiling under an attic. All right. Asphalt shingles, yes. Roof insulation. There is no roof insulation. There's no radiant barrier. It's just wood and shingles. So nothing there. Attic type. It says that it's a FHA vented attic. So it is vented. Doesn't say anything about fan vented or anything else. If this was a spray foam building, then you would be doing encapsulated, but it's not. So this is a vented attic. Ceiling insulation. 19, yeah, R19 in the joist. So notice when I change that, yeah, there we go. So it actually kind of changes your picture as you do that on certain ones. So we're just going to go R19, ceiling finish. Doesn't really tell us specifically, I don't believe. It just says the walls have plasterboard on them. And so we're just going to go with kind of a basic. We'll just go with a 1/2 inch gypsum board, which is 1/2 inch drywall sheetrock. Suspended ceiling insulation. We don't have a suspended ceiling, so it doesn't even let us pick that. And then you could do your shingles dark, light, or whatever, and ours are dark, so we've got that selected. Not going to use any of the others at this point, so, or really at all on this one. So hit OK. So that's my default ceiling and roof. Next part, floors. So this says that we have our floors assume no, all it tells us is assume no heat gain over the workshop, but if we're not using a basement, we're not, that's in that basement plan. So we're just going to do this over a crawl space. So in this one, I have to remember how to do this. So an exterior floor would mean, it's exposed. Floor partition means that it's going down to another enclosed area, so a crawl space. On or below grade, so this would be mainly your slab stuff. If a house is built on a concrete slab. And so we're going to go with floor partition. I believe that's right. This one always kind of, yeah, that's right. Okay, so our floor finish. Now I know that parts of the house have one thing and parts have the other, so we'll use a default, but then we can go into these individual rooms and actually change that. So we're just going to pick one, pick a default. Because I don't think it tells us on all the rooms. Okay. So I'm going to go carpet. Insulation, we have no floor insulation. Structure, it's wood frame. Notice if I change this, the picture changes. So it's pretty cool. Structure thickness, it doesn't really tell us that. So we'll just go with a standard. Let's just go with a 10-inch. And we have no insulation, so take the insulation away. All right, ceiling finish. There's no ceiling below this. So this isn't a second floor, even though it kind of is thinking that it is. So if you was doing a second floor, you would do that as a floor partition as well. And you would actually set that up as a partition, and then you would put gypsum board underneath of it or whatever you have on the ceiling below. So we don't have that. So it's pretty simple. Next, windows. All right, so let's get into our window stuff. Our windows, according to our plan, there's two different types. There's vertical glass, 2-pane, both are 2-pane, so we're going to be in the double column. Wood frame operable with bug screen, and 2-pane wood framed fixed without a bug screen. So the one that we have the most of is the A windows. So we're going to use that as our default, and then we can change those others later. So 2-pane wood frame operable with bug screen. So 2-pane operable. Outer pane. You can do clear low E. It doesn't tell us anything specific about if it says low E or not. Argon filled or air filled, it doesn't tell us, so you could mess around with those and kind of pick whichever one. So we're just going to kind of go with the default clear air filled. Frame material is wood. The inner pane is clear. The gap, it doesn't tell us. So if you were actually doing a new house, most of this information would actually be available on the window, the stickers on the windows when you walk in. So pay attention to that. So we're just going to keep everything standard there pretty much. And then the storm pane, we don't have a storm pane, and it doesn't give us an option here for a bug screen. So we're just going to skip that for right now. Just hit enter. Okay, walls. Our walls are frame with brick. So you're going to go with a frame wall, and it'll be brick on the outside, not a masonry wall. So masonry wall would be if you actually had a concrete wall or a concrete block or something. Frame wall with brick. It doesn't tell us the thickness, the width of the brick, I don't believe. So let's just pick the 4. And notice over here, it's building my wall as I go. Sheeting, it has to have some sort of sheeting. Yeah, 1/2 inch sheeting. So 1/2 inch wood. So that's your OSB. Cavity insulation, R11 blanket. So there's that. Interior finish, we're going to go 1/2 inch gypsum board. Exterior board insulation, we don't have any according to the plan, so you could fool around with that if you did, and notice it puts it in there if you do that. So we'll leave that off. Framing. It doesn't tell us. I'm going to say we're just going to stick with 2x4. 2x4 walls, wood. Stud spacing, it doesn't tell us that either, so we're just going to go with 16 inches on center, which means the distance between the center of this joist to the center of that joist is 16 inches. And interior board insulation, we don't have any of that as well, so good there. Door type, we've only got 2 doors in the house, and they're both the same door. And it looks like they're metal with a polystyrene core, so metal. All right, I think that's probably what they're that EPS is your polystyrene. So we're going to go with that. The front, neither one it says has a storm door on it. If you did, look, it puts it right on top of it. I tell you what, I'm going to put one on mine so you can kind of do it either way, but I'm going to put one on there. Okay. All right. So I've got most of that stuff. You can click on more construction if you want. Gives you some more information. Load preferences. I got to remember how to do this. All right. So the ducts, where are they located? Does it tell us? All equipment and duct runs are in the basement. So in this case, they're all going to be in the crawl space. So they are not in the conditioned space. So we can get to that later. So I think on this one, you'll actually build a new, let's call this long. All right, our heating option is air only. Cooling option is air only. The room height is 8 feet. All right, so here's some information on your windows. So this is where your overhang stuff is going to come in. And for now, we may just kind of use sort of a basic default. So our A, that's our overhang. Let's see. We said foot. B is your vertical separation, a foot. Window height. Now that's going to vary based on windows. Window head height, which is D from the ground up. I'm just going to leave those like they are for now for simplicity's sake. These are flat windows. They're not a bay window or a garden window, so leave those. Internal shade, blinds at 45 degrees, 50%. insect screen. There we go. All right, so we have an outdoor bug screen, and it covers, usually if it's a, well, it depends on the windows. Let's say 100%. Okay, got that. All right, so BTUs per person, we're gonna leave that where it's at. Duck loss and gain. All right, so this is in the crawl. It's in an enclosed crawl space. And let's say that it is tight. Let's say they did a really good job on this crawl space. The configuration, is it radial, meaning it goes around? If you look in your manual D book, you'll see these different types of terminologies: radial, center of the room. No, we're going to do trunk and branch with perimeter outlets, meaning around the outside. So ceiling, you can, your duct ceiling, how well it's sealed. So let's just say it's pretty good. Your R value, leave it where it's at. Heating discharge air temperature. This would change if you're using a gas furnace or if you're using a heat pump. So let's just say we're using a gas furnace. So let's just go for like 140. Because the higher the difference, the more it's going to lose heat. So that's going to factor in. Your ambient temperatures, I'm not going to, let's see here. Crawl space, I don't know how you do that. So let's leave that where it's at for now, I guess. And going by manual J. Like I said, some of this I'm a little rusty with, so just kind of bear with me. So I'm going to hit OK and see what this does. Return locate. Well, wait. Return location is also in the basement or in the crawl. So same thing. Notably sealed. Trunk and branch. All right, so we're going to just leave the rest like it is. All right. All right, so I'm going to apply that, and then I'm just going to X out of this. All right, now we're going to start drawing. So the way you're going to do this, you're not going to draw it like you think you would. Now, if you're doing a block, you can do that. So just real quick, I'll show you how to do that. The house itself is 51 by 29, 1,479 square feet. So I'm just going to go over here to room, and I can just draw that house really quick. And I can say 51 by 29, so I can throw that on here. And I've got a house. And then I can just start throwing windows and doors in that and make a block. So if I was doing a block load, that's the way I would do it. I'm not doing a block load in this case because we only want to get to a room by room. And so it's the same way with, if you'll notice on your speed sheets, you can build it as a block or you can build it room by room. But if you build it as a block and then you build it room by room, it's going to double your load. It's going to count all of those as rooms. It's going to count the block as a room and every individual room. So I'm going to do away with this, and I'm going to build this house like I'm building it out of Legos or something. So I'm going to build a room. The first room I'm going to call the laundry room, which is the back. Start back here on this back corner. And that room is 7 by 11. 11 tall. And 7 wide. All right. So I can name that room. I'm going to call it laundry. All right, what else does this room have in it? It has a door in it. So I'm going to put that door right there. And that door, if I right click, it'll give me the information on that door. So pull this up. This is my default that we picked earlier. If I want to change that, I can change that individual door and still not change my default. I'm going to leave the default like it is, but I do have to change the size of it. So the width is 32, which would be 2.5 feet. And the height would be 78, which I need to check out here real quick. 78 divided by 12 is 6.5 feet. So enter that in. And then notice my area changes. Also, the orientation, I need to change that up here, but let's just change it here. Well, no, it's going to do that automatically. All right, so there's that. Now, I can change the orientation up here. So notice at the top, my house faces the north is to the left-hand side of the house. So I can just determine where north is. And so I'm going to point that to the same direction that the house plan is. All right, so I'm going to go on and start building rooms. So the next room is a kitchen, 11 by 11. So let's throw it right beside that one, 11 by 11. No doors, but there is a window. So I'm going to go over here and grab a window. This is my stock A windows. And I'm going to draw it in. You have to actually draw it in. Stretch it across. So it is 33 by 48. So I'm just going to draw it at 3 foot, and then I'm going to edit it. I'm going to go in here and say, well, instead of being 33, it's actually, or instead of being 3 foot, it's actually, let's see, but they are measured width by height. So 33 is the width. 33 divided by 12 gives me 2.75 feet. 48 is my height. If I needed to change the type of window, I can do that up here. But see, notice this goes back to your manual, 1D-C2OW. That's your manual J, straight out of your book. Head height, all that stuff we determined earlier. So I'm just going to leave that all like it is and just move on. All right. X. Next up, I've got a 9 by 11 bathroom, and it has a window in it as well. So draw a room. Now this one has a bit of an offset in it. So actually I need to do this different. So delete that room. Do this. So clicking the one up on the right, this one that's got the little chunk out of it, that's going to allow me to draw this room as it is instead of making a square. So stretch 9. So I held that down. Now I'm not holding this down at this point. It's just going to let me keep going. I don't know the exact width of that closet, but I'm going to say that it's I'm going to say 2 feet. So the closet comes up, and I'm kind of guessing at this because it doesn't give me the exact dimensions. 2 feet, 2 feet, 2 feet. I'm just going to make it easy. And then boom. All right, so once I connect the dots, it calls that a room. So go back here. I need to rename this. This is kitchen. This is bath 1. And it does have a window in it. So I need to go grab a window. It's an A, so it's my default windows, and it's 2 foot wide by 4 foot tall. I'm not going to change that. Should be good. Should be 4 foot default, and it should, now I've got it 2 foot, so I'm just going to leave that. I don't have to go in and edit it. Next one, bedroom 3. All right, so again, this one's kind of a odd shape, so I'm going to use my little shaping, my shape one. So I got to make sure that I draw this just like it is. This room is 10 by 11, 10 by 11. Boom. Once I connect it, I've got got a room. All right, and that room is called bedroom 3. And it has a window in it. So grab the window, stretch that bad boy in there. It is 66 by 48. So 66 is going to be 5.5 feet. So I'm just going to go in and edit that. Yeah, hit the wrong thing. If you make sure that you're clicking the window and not the... Sometimes it wants to get weird. So you can move that window. There we go. All right. Width 5.5 feet, about 4 feet tall. Going to change what I need to change there. And nothing else changes. So drag that back down to the space. Good to go. Moving on. Next room. We're just going to draw that as a square, and then we'll take care of those closets in the hallway different. So this room is 14 by 10. So it's a little bit shorter this way. 14. And it has windows on both sides, and they're both A windows. First one is 51, so I'm just going to stretch this out 4 feet and then right click it. Maybe you don't. Yeah, okay. So you don't want to left click, select it, and then right click it, or it'll mess you up. Just go up to it and right click it, and it'll pull up the information. 51, which is going to put us 4.25 feet by 48. So that stays the same. So we're good there. Another window on the other side is 33 by 48. So that's going to be 33 divided by 12, 2.75 by 48. So good. Looks like it rounded it up to 2.8. That's okay. Next room is the bathroom. So let's name this one though first. So this is bedroom 2. All right, bathroom is 5 by 5. So a little rectangular room. Start over here in the corner. All right, so if I wanted to, I could do this. I could go over here and draw this room 5 by 5. And then I can move it in if that's easier. And then it has a little bitty window in it. And that window is 24 by 48. So 2 feet by 48. Now on this one, it says that the overhang is approximately 8 feet below. So let's right click this. I think I can change that right here. Overhang, horizontal projection, vertical. So that's 1, vertical, 8. So I can enter that right there. All right, so there's my window for bathroom 2. All right, next, bedroom 1 is a rectangle, and it is 15 by 14. So that's 14 tall, 15 wide. Bedroom 1 has 2 windows. They're both A windows. So I'm just going to throw those in here. That one's 33, so go back and edit that again. So 2.8, if I remember right. And the front one is 36 by 68, so it's big. 36, 3 foot wide. Right click, edit the height. So 68 is going to be 5.7. All right, I notice I can change any of that spacing on those if I want. I didn't do that on the other two on the edge. I could go back and do that. Try and do this quick though. All right, so the overhang, 1 and 5 feet on this one. If you look at your plan, approximately 5 feet below the overhang. Same thing with this one. So right click this one, 1, 5. Done. All right, moving on. So the hallway is going to be a little weird. So I'm going to skip that for now because we're going to have to come back and draw it in. So I'm just going to keep drawing rooms. Let's see. Actually, I can do this. I can make the hallway a room, and then I can make the interior hallway a different room. So the first hallway is 8 by 14. I'm not 100% sure if that's counting those closets or not. So we're going to draw it out and see if it comes out right. And if not, I may have to add a couple feet. So 8 wide. And see, it's going to be 14, which is the same height as this room here. So we're going to call this hall, entry hall. All right, because then we'll have another hall up in here that's a central room, has no exterior stuff. And it has a door in it, one door. And that door is 3 by 7, so that should be standard. So I'm just going to leave that like it is. And you can flip this. Just grab one side of it, flip it around, and move it. I don't know if it matters or not, but that way it's opening to the outside or the inside. So ours is open to the inside, so I shouldn't have even done that. All right, so there's that. Next, living room, 21 by 14. So big room, big square room. So 14 starts here, goes 21. And down 14. All right. The last room is the dining room. It's 7 by 18. So should come out right. 18, 7, bingo. All right, so our closet was good. All right, now you'll notice this dark line. So anytime you have a dark line, that's an exterior wall. If you leave this like it is, it's going to think that there's some sort of courtyard or something in the middle of this house that has external walls all the way around it. So we're going to have to fill that in. I do have to put windows in the living room and dining room though. So let's do that real quick. And these are B windows, so they're a little different. So the front one is 96 by 60. So 96 is a big old window. So 60 puts us at 5 feet. And 96 puts us at 8. And these are B windows. Really the only difference is let's see here. Here we go. All right, so I can go back into my thing here and change it. There's really not much to change on this one other than that it's a fixed window. It also doesn't have a bug screen on it, but I don't know if it's going to give us that option on here. All right. Notice your U values, your solar heat gain coefficient, all that stuff's pulling up. So you can compare that to what we did in class. All right, so I'm just kind of skipping through that pretty quick. And then I've got another one of those. I can actually copy this window if I want, I think. Can I? Maybe I can't. Tell what you can do, though. If you come over here, you can make a window. You say this one's going to be 60, 48. And then you can bring it over here and move it and throw it in that wall. Okay, so we're going to just call that good. I need to get in here and change this to a fixed window. And other than that, I'm going to leave it. Okay. 60 by 48, so we're good there. All right, now I have to draw this interior hallway. Now on the plan, it says there's stairs because there's a basement, but we don't have that because we're not using the basement. So just going to click. I'm just going to trace it. Well, you got to hold it the first time. Trace, drop, and then you don't have to hold anymore. You just click. Boom, boom. And once I get this all filled in, this line should go from bold to light. Bam. All right, and then it calls it a room. All right, so this is just going to be our central hall. And then it'll know that there's no exterior walls, no windows, no doors that impact the central hallway. All right, so I've got a house. So at this point, I should be able to get some information on this house. So let's see what we come up with. So I'm going to go to the I want to do away with that. Do away with that duct notation. So zone information. There we go. All right, zone information for the entire house. So let's just see what it gives us and go from there. All right, so it looks like quite a bit compared to what we had in class. 3.9 tons. So I got to see what I did. What I did wrong. Load meter. All right, so if you click load meter, it'll give you a breakdown. And then you should be able to expand that. And then you can do a breakdown, see where you're losing the most. So your cooling, this is saying glazing, 31%. That's your windows. Ceilings, 15. Floors, 13. Ducts, 28. All right, so we got something going on there, I believe. So according to this, we got 56,000 heating, 31,000 sensible, and 27,000 latent cooling. So just at a rough glance, that seems to be more than what we're going to need. So, and I'm working this as we go. I don't know what I've done wrong either. So I'm just got to figure it out. All right, let's see. All right, so if you go up here to the top, you can actually pull up your write-soft, your Write J or your Manual J sheet, which is basically identical to what we did in class, the speed sheets. And it'll show you all the information that we picked. So I'm just curious. Here's our duct issue. The other thing I'm curious about is, let's see. All right, so your entire house, 1,479 square feet, 160 feet of exposed wall, 8-foot ceilings. All right, then you can go here and look room by room. So the laundry, the kitchen, the bath, And down here you can see your load, your CFM required. That's where we're going to get to. So CFM required is going to tell me how much airflow that we need to put into this room. So when we get into our duct design, which is what's coming next, we're going to use that information to say, okay, I need this much BTUs removed or added, and I need this much airflow or CFMs, cubic feet per minute, to get it there. So then it's our job to make sure that the duct is designed in a way that actually delivers that much airflow. So room by room, so far I don't see anything crazy. The bedroom 1 has 9,000 heat, 4,800 cooling. Nothing crazy there. I'm just looking for any outliers, anything that looks out of place. So far, I'm not seeing anything. That duct is the big thing. So we got to figure out what's going on there. I noticed you got quite a bit in that living room, but you have a big picture window as well. Room 12. What is room 12? Back to the drawing. Room 12. This is dining room. So back to that. Room 12 is now there. Central hallway. Blank. Nothing there. All right. The duct is the big thing that's losing a lot. All right. So more information on the house. Simplified method of infiltration for the house. Construction quality. Is it tight, loose, semi-tight? You know, that's going to be kind of hard to determine, but you know, you're going to kind of use the, you know, are all the openings the cracks sealed with caulk? Do you have spray foam? Is this a tight home? Is it an older home that's very leaky? And so we're just going to go with average. Number of above grade stories. We only have 1. Exposures, 3 or 4. So that's saying how many walls are actually exposed. No fireplaces. All right. And air only, 8 feet. Duct. Seems like we did this before, but I think we're going to have to redo it. So let's do this. So this was in an enclosed crawl space, tight, enclosed crawl space, tight. They were trunk and branch with perimeter outlets, trunk and branch. Notably sealed. We did all this, but I guess we're internal shading. Blinds 45 degrees light. Fraction drawn 100%. There is an outdoor bug shade 100%. See what that does. Nope, still the same. Well, I might not even figure this out at this point. We may have to go over this in class, but you're kind of starting to see the process anyway. All right, so it's going to give you your design CFM, which is what we're going to get into later, your airflow stuff. But you can kind of see where this is going and how this is going to be really helpful, because some of the other stuff we have won't give us this information. And that's really what we're trying to get to. In your drawing, you can actually go in here and put a car in, you know, whatever. Like, you know, you can kind of make this look like a blueprint somewhat. And this would be fine if you were doing a house. You could print this off and print your load information, your job stuff, your job information, and that should be good for inspection. Trying to figure out what I've done wrong, but anyway, you kind of get the gist of it. We're going 70, 75, 50% in the house. Design temperature difference. All right, so I'm going to stop right there, and then we'll pick up on this later. So I'm going to try to figure out where this 3.9 is going wrong. We may have to go over that in class and figure it out, but I don't want to waste your time on this video. So you get an idea of at least how this is working, and then we'll try to drive it home. So I'm going to end this, and then I'm going to show you the CoolCalc app or website. You can do kind of a quick one, so you can check that out as well. And we'll pick this up in class.